A massive production of the famous musical Les Miserables will be presented by the Nagaland Conservatory of Music at the Lauren Hall, Tetso College on November 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Speaking to media persons, the chairman of the Nagaland Conservatory of Music, Lipok Martsudir, said that it will be a 3-day repeated performance where 43 singers will be acting in the whole musical, and this singers also and the performers also include former and current students of the Nagaland Conservatory of Music. The organizers informed that the tickets are on sale for 2,000 rupees for admit of 2 persons, whereas the first day will be mostly for the patrons and the special invitees, which will be 5,000 and an admit of 4 people for the first night, that is November 23rd. Let's have a look at today's press conference.
A very good afternoon to all our friends from the media houses. We appreciate the time that you have taken out to be here with us today. We consider this a very great opportunity for us to reach out to the communities in Dimapur, especially arts lovers, music enthusiasts. Today's press conference is primarily to talk about a production that Nagaland Conservatory of Music has been working on, Les Miserables. But before I move on to the content of this conference, I want to introduce our friends here seated with me today. On my left is Tia. He is the academic dean of NCM and also the director of the production. To my right is Joto. He's one of the core team members of the production. And to the extreme right, Mr. Muanongsang Longkamer, the first Naga idol, if many of you might remember. He's joining the team as the production coordinator, consultant. So, talking about the production, what started as a case study of the Department of Voice at Nagaland Conservatory of Music, of various genres of music, Broadway was to be covered in this particular semester. And the voice major students, led by their teachers, took serious time in delving into the philosophies, the artistry of musical productions. And for that particular semester, Les Miserables was selected, and they really took time out to study it into depths. And as a culmination of their study, they put up an excerpts of the production, and which was staged during the Spring Carnival that was held in 2021. Yes, 2021 at NCM campus, to great enthusiasm of the people who were present. And much to their enthusiasm and the inspirations that we received, we decided that we should put some more efforts on trying to produce it so that it becomes educational, not only for our community, but for the Dimapur or for the state of Nagaland as a whole, or for the region as a whole, to give them an access to such productions. As far as the talent is concerned, now NCM itself is a storehouse of talents. There's no dearth of talents. We have sufficient people who are capable of singing and acting. Our main challenge was finances. So we decided, since we're going ahead with the production, why don't we approach some institutions who are directly involved in such activities. And so we approached NEZCC of the Ministry of Culture, Government of India. We approached TAFMA under the Government of Nagaland to come forward and support us in this cause. And they very happily and generously agreed to be part of this production, and they have been supporting us along the way. We are very grateful to them about that one. Further, we approach Analia Beauty because this is a stage production, and Without proper makeups and props, it doesn't work. So we approached Anala Beauty, our academy, to support us, and they most willingly came forward to support us. We were grateful to them. We approached DMC for the logistics, giving us the facilities that was under their disposals, and they came forward to that one. And for prints and creatives and designs, we approached Eastern Publication House, and they willingly came forward. And so we are now well prepared and all set for the production that is to be held on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of November at Lorin Hall, Tetsu College. As you were aware, in the entire district of Dimapur, there's not even a single theater that's worthy of staging such productions. But fortunately, of late, Tetsu College has come up with an auditorium, fully air-conditioned, acoustically built, and very conducive for such productions. And we approached them, and they willingly agreed to house us with a minimal rental charges, because not only the production, not only the performances, but the preparation itself will take us at least 3-4 days to set up the stage, the props, and so forth. So it's a week-long engagement at the venue, but they most willingly came forward to accommodate us, and so we're grateful to them about that. This is a massive production and requires more than 50-60 different costumes, and as much as different sets of props, stage props. So we started from scratch. We started by recycling clothes to convert into to acceptable costumes. We had to hunt all the second-hand stores to gather and collect whatever costumes was available that was suitable to the period of this story. And so along the way, in the last 11 months that we've been preparing on this one, we have now substantially collected all the costumes that we require, and all the stage props we worked out to develop it on our own, and it's all set to go. We are of the opinion that this kind of production has been rare, and it won't be too easy again to produce something like this in the future. So we want to accommodate maximum number of audience as much as possible. That's why we are extending it into 3 days repeat performances. And another reason being that the Lorin Hall at Tetsu College can accommodate at the max 400 persons at one time. So each night can accommodate only 400 persons. So accordingly, the tickets are also very limited. The tickets are reasonably priced, primarily to cover the production cost. Because as you can appreciate, it's a massive production that requires a lot of finances. Besides the support from TAFMA and NEZCC, we have to raise our own funds so that we can cover the remainder of the expenses. So the tickets will cover these expenses. So of course we welcome donations from well-wishers and our friends. Sound and lights are managed by Audio Garage of Dimapur and MP Lights of Guwahati respectively. As I mentioned earlier, Tia, who seated next to me, is the director of the show, assisted by Vinya Sumi, who's not here, but she's working behind the scene. And as mentioned earlier, Moanang Sang, our first ever Naga idol, carries a lot of not only experience in performances, but in managing events such as this. So we have roped him in, and we are grateful that he's part of this team. I want to appeal to the media houses, our dear friends. Along the journey of NCM since its inception 11 years ago, you have been like the pillar and the post for our cause, and we continue to solicit your support. We want to ask for your help to disseminate the informations that such things should be encouraged, especially to the youths. It's not only pop songs or K-pop that's becoming very popular nowadays, but such genres of music have been and will always be a hallmark of performances in this world. So we hope that through your participation, that a wider audience will be reached to, and that they will come to appreciate this kind of production. So that's the notes that I would like to share with you today. And if there are any further questions, we'll be happy and willing to take any questions and clarifications if necessary. It's a sung-through musical. The scenario is a 19th century scenario in France, revolving around some peasants who were prisoners previously and then converted and released, and how they are now trying to transform the society. So it's a sung musical where singing, acting is part of it. The accompaniment is orchestrations. It's a full orchestration, and as you know, we don't have orchestras here. We have to now rely on pre-recorded orchestral accompaniment. So it's a 1 hour 30 minutes non-stop performance of music, dance, and drama that of course involves comedy and tragedies and actions as it is in any kind of such productions. Right. I would want to answer it in this way. Actually, it's R-rated, but we had to refine it so that it's consumable by a general audience. Number one, violence may be understood as revolt against evil. So there's no disturbing scenarios, but of course there are confrontations. If we would say it, there are confrontations against the system. So in many ways, actually, this musical reflects societies that are fighting against corruption, that are fighting against discrimination. So it carries a good ground of moral lessons also. So it's consumable to all kinds of age, of all age group, let me say. Just imagine how much we love Hindi songs. I think we hardly understand 50% of the language, but the action communicates. And even though we don't remember the film that we watched, many of us end up remembering the song. So the advantage of musical is that it's sung with action, with acting. So that serves us as a very effective way of communicating to the audience on what you're trying to communicate. Not only the text, but I believe our community is very conversant in English. And our actors, performers have done it in such a refined way that it can be easily understood upon hearing it. So I'm sure the audience of any age will grasp the idea and enjoy the performance as well. Yes. In fact, our friend Moa was one of the lead actors, and we acknowledge that perhaps was the first of the similar production, and which was a successful one. And after a very long gap, because like we all know, it requires not only the talents but a lot of resources. So I think with a lot of challenges, they managed to pull it off very well, actually, and we still appreciate and cherish that. And after a very long gap, perhaps more than 10 years, that we are doing another musical, which I hope the community and the society will appreciate in the same line. Right. So of course, this musical is based on a novel by Victor Hugo, perhaps one of the most successful novels, as critics would comment. The plot, according to him, circles around the 19th century French Revolution. So a lot of moral values, the circumstances of the community at that period is reflected in the musical, no doubt about it. And like I said earlier, it reflects a lot of what we as a community here at this age, perhaps in our society, is also undergoing, is reflected in that. The reason why we chose this is because Les Miserables is, if not the most, one of the most successful musicals that have ever been created. By virtue of its continual running of productions year after year without gap. That led us, I mean, as I stated earlier, that inspired us, has triggered us to do a case study, a thorough case study of the musical. Of course, the other musicals are equally productive and inspiring and challenging, but in our opinion, we thought that this is something that's worth studying. So that's one of the main reasons why we chose Les Miserables.
We have been preparing it for 7 to 8 months now. Yes.
How many are involved in this?
For singing, we have 43 singers, and total in overall production team, it comes to around 60 plus, yes.
Yes, so I mean, the first part of your question is, yes, it's former students and current students of NCM. And of course, the total number of actors required is 60 plus. But within 50, yes, we are doing double roles in some scenes. Mm-hmm. Some people are playing double roles, if I would say. We wanted to do it conventional way. You know that at this age, everything is done online. But you will notice that it's a lot of youngsters who are the ones who are very active in online or in social medias. But a lot of senior citizens are perhaps not so active, as you would agree with me. So we decided to go in very conventional way. You will now see hoardings in towns from today, which is a rare thing nowadays. Press conferences like this are also quite rare nowadays, unlike before. So we want to approach it locally, door-to-door approach, if we would say it. Less on digital, but more on the print medias. Of course, not saying that the visual media is of any less importance, but we are putting efforts to now go to door, sale of tickets and so forth. Tickets will be available on requests. The numbers are given here in all our posters. For the first night, we are calling it the Patrons Night. Not necessarily people who are directly involved with us, but we just coined it as a patron night so that families can come together. So the patron ticket is 5,000 rupees that give access to four audience. And on the second and third nights, the tickets are priced at 2,000 rupees each, with admit 2 for every ticket. So for the first night, 5,000, admit 4. Second and third night, rupees 2,000, admit 2 each. Post performance every night, we will be laying out snacks for all our guests so that we have more opportunities to interact, especially with the youngsters who are would perhaps be curious to know about this and that, or what happened there, or how does it, things like that. We will have post-performance every evening interactions with the audience, because we want to make it educational as much as possible. That's our main target. Even parents, I'm sure some of them elders, would want to have questions. So we will have crowd interactions, post-performances every evening. The number of songs will be 18 songs, the main songs. Yeah, so thank you once again for your time. Your involvement and participation is very crucial for the success of this program. Not only this program, but perhaps the cause of NCM, what we want to achieve, and how we want to be involved in developing music education in this part of the world. Not only in the state of Nagaland, we have students coming from all over the northeastern region. And actually now we are trying to develop our infrastructure so that we can attract students from Southeast Asia. So these initiatives will perhaps open opportunities and doors for us to give leadership, not only in this region, but in the Southeast Asian countries as well. So your support is highly appreciated, and we thank you once again for your time.